morning there. You're watching QTV This Morning, and I'm Jenna Musonko. And I'm joined by my co-host here, Ibrahim Abalde, and our guest, Mr. Ka. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Ibrahim, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Jenna. It's good to be here always, and you know, reviewing the newspapers and interacting with our newspaper review guests. And we have Mr. Ka. Mr. Ka, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, viewers. It's my pleasure always to join you on the platform and engage in the discussion as always.
All right. So without wasting any time, let's go straight to our African proverb.
Yes, I'll give you the honor to read it out.
You want me to read it out?
At least.
Yes, so the proverb says, the lucky man will think his fortune is forever, the day will change. The lucky man will think his fortune is forever, the day will change.
Well, I think when you look, you know, you will see where the proverb is originated from Yaoundé. That's Cameroon.
So, Mr. Ka, do you want to jump
It just says things don't last forever.
Yeah.
You know, for me, that's how I see it. I mean, no matter how bad, there is light at the end of the tunnel. No matter how good, always sometimes, you know, it may come to an end. So it's always good to factor that, you know, you may have good times, you may also have bad times. So nothing is permanent in life or continuous. There is always at some point when you have to deal with, you know, the downside of things. So in life, it's always good to prepare yourself for the good and for the bad. So don't assume that because things are going well for you, it's just continuing to go forever like that. So there could be some bad days as well.
I totally agree. It just shows how things can change. So putting in mind that things can change, let it be your finances, academics, business, you know. So in every aspect of life, things are impermanent. So you always have to have a plan B. If this does not work, I can always jump onto this. So you cannot just work on one thing without having a backup or, you know, a contingency plan. You know, it's always to have that in life, in all aspects. Education, money, business, you name it. So Ibrahim, have you ever been in a situation where at some point things didn't work, but you really had something planned out and it covered everything?
Well, actually, I mean, most of the time, it can happen at any time. Sometimes you cannot even remember what happened or how it happened. But like the proverb said, it's good to plan. You know, time with time, everything can change. Most of the time, people will tell you, okay, all right, I'll be a patient because nothing is permanent, and we all understand. You know, it's just a matter of time, the table turn. So it's better for you to plan, whether it's education, whether it's wealth, whether it's your children. It is a tree when it is young. So all those things, it's important for us to put it at the back of our mind, so that we would be able to, so that we won't fail, because nothing lasts forever. We've seen people that were wealthy, and today they are no more. They're walking in the streets. And we've seen people that were very poor, and now they are with silver spoons. So anything can change. It's better, like your situation, you are at the moment, how you plan, so that when things change for the worst, how are you going to manage? Like you said, contingency plan, which is very significant. Yeah, so I think it's part of our life. Every day we need to plan for the better.
Yeah, I totally agree. Do you want to add?
I think we have really hit the
nail on the head.
Yeah, the nail on the head. You know, because life, you know, is ups and downs, as always, on a regular basis, on a daily basis, weekly, yearly, depending on duration. So it's just always good to have faith and work hard and be conscious of what you're doing in terms of being very honest and sincere, and then that's all you can offer. The rest, sometimes you meet luck as you work hard. Sometimes you can work hard and do not meet luck. So when luck and hard work converge, then the result is always something great.
Well, it is
so these are the convergence that always people look for. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is working hard, you know, and then the rest will follow. If it is going to be luck, we will work hard and you benefit. If it doesn't come,
exactly. It is very important that he mentioned luck. I mean, I've seen people that said, I mean, I've worked for the rest of my life. I mean, I achieved nothing. I didn't get anything, you know. But I will say to them at the end of the time, I mean, I don't think you achieved nothing. Being consistent, working, and believing in yourself. At least at some point, you know, you believed in something, and you still maintain to work until this time. So I don't think,
I can
maybe it's the luck, but
when the Mandela Washington Fellows, the young people came on Youth Dialogue, they talked about, you know, some people were calling and they were like, oh, I feel like I didn't achieve a lot, so I can't apply. You know, so they, you know, with the U.S. Embassy making them believe that even waking up every morning and feeding a dog is something, because it's a routine that you do and you're feeding somebody. Like, an achievement is it's subjective to different people. It depends on how you interpret it, and what might be success to me might not be success to you.
Absolutely.
It might not be success to him. So it's different with different people, and I think if we understand that, we will allow people to, you know, be successful in their own ways.
Yeah, that's the beauty of humanity.
Yes.
You may love music,
Yes.
this man may love fishing, this
Yeah.
other. So you are all achieving in your different ways.
Right.
So at the end of the day, the most important thing is being a very happy person as you live, because life is for living. And if there is happy deficiency in your life, then it's not worth living. So what makes you happy can vary from person to person. Like you said, achievement is subjective. So the definition may vary from one individual to the other. But at the end of the day, you start live a very fruitful and meaningful and a happy life.
So we can go for a break now, and then when we come, we will take a look at current affairs. Yeah, so we'll be right back.
Speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled device. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyapus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
QCell brings you the future. Do your banking the smart way with the new Ajib Bank mobile app. Transfer money to any bank account in the Gambia. Top up airtime for all networks. Pay utility bills. Check your account balance and view mini statements. Request for ATM cards. Request for checkbooks and more in a single touch. So, do your banking in a smart way. Do your banking now with Ajib Bank mobile app. Every time is banking time. Ajib Bank, your investment partner.
Ultimate bundles. Enjoy the best voice and data bundle plans in one package. Get unlimited data packages with flexible validity and enjoy what true internet feels like. Get 30 minutes of on-net and off-net calls with 5 gigabytes of data for just $350. Or get bigger bundle packages from 10 gigabytes to 20 gigabytes with over 100 on-net and off-net voice calls and enjoy the fastest internet speed in the Gambia. You can also buy 1-day, 3-day or even 7-day packages and enjoy unlimited data bundles with uncapped speeds. Just dial *343# today and experience the limitless capabilities of the QCell network. *343# should be your favorite code to dial now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, we innovate, others follow.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning, and I'm here with my co-host Ibrahim Abalde and our guest Mr. Carr. So let's take a look at a UN Day. Yesterday was World Habitat Day, so this is actually commemorated to focus on the fundamental human right to shelter, and then how resilient cities can, you know, bring about economic growth and all of that. And then, you know, we've seen Banjul and then KMC has been twinning with different cities, you know, across the world to actually bring development, which has been beneficial to both cities. So generally, I just think there's just this problem with capital cities. I don't know why, but most of the time there's just a lot of issues surrounding it. And then people will be like, oh, let's shift it. But who knows, when you shift it, what's going to happen there too? Probably maybe there's a lot of concentration around that area, but I don't know why that is.
Because the development is uneven
Yeah.
for most of these third world countries.
Right.
When the colonialists came, they created satellite states. And these satellite cities is what attracted a lot of people, because this is where everything was concentrated.
Right.
You had the schools, the hospitals, all the facilities, and the jobs. So therefore, people tend to migrate from the rural to the urban setting. And if you look at the African context, you would see that the urban area is expanded, you know, tremendously. You will see, and the rural area, people are migrating and coming to settle here. And that puts a lot of pressure in terms of services, in terms of housing, and in terms of many other facilities, waste management, etc., etc. So these are the things that ought to be, that's why they start calling for a development direction of decentralization, where some of these facilities can be provided in the rural areas so that the rural-urban migration is halted. But unless and until that happens, but in the African setting, is the colonial system that structured it in this way, and that is why it is like that, and it has to be corrected. It will take time, because if you look at the West, all the cities are almost developed. There is no rural. You cannot tell the distinction between rural and urban when it comes to the availability of facilities. But that will take time for Africa.
Well, I think that's a very interesting point, Mr. Carr, you mentioned. I was talking to one of my friends the other time. When you look at transport, for example, most of the time in the morning, everybody goes to the same direction. When you look at it, when you wake up from Brikama, the Kiangs, the Fonyis, they all come to Banjul. It's because the development that's been concentrated around that area. You know, I was saying to my friend, what about if this is decentralized? Maybe some of these ministries, some of these offices. What about the schools? What about if they are we move to certain areas? This will at least you know, reduce that pressure that we are facing right now. But other countries did it. I think there are countries that move their capitals from one place to another. You know, so I think although it's very difficult, but it's possible as well.
Yeah, you know, administrative capital can be different from the capital. Okay, we have Greater Banjul. We can always create a new place and call it a capital where we move all the offices and all that. But nonetheless, it's always within that same centralized area. And the gravitation you just pointed out, everybody heads towards Greater Banjul in the morning. That is where everything is. The commerce, that is the hub of everything. That's where you have everything, the airport, the commerce, the businesses, everything. So people gravitate towards those things. That is why we have this urban-rural migration. And it's also replicated in a broader context of Africa Western migration. It's the same. You have pull factors
in the bigger picture when you look at it.
But on other news, we also see how girls have outperformed boys in the Cabeza exams. You know, the ministry has been talking about how they've really been able to achieve gender parity, and I think performances as such is also evidence that they've, you know, achieved parity at that level. Yeah,
that's good. The more women we have educated, the better, and you know, because I think women can really impact the lives of people more than men do. I think because of their, you know, cognitive, you know, approach towards, you know, dealing with people. They multitask. They have more empathy, so there are things. So that's a good thing, you know. But they must not forget the boys as well. When they focus too much in terms of policy, to the extent that boys are being left behind, also that will create an imbalance later that will not be good for society. So as they try to ensure that girls are being empowered and then moved in the mainstream of things to progress and develop, they must also create a curriculum that also structures and factors boys as well.
Yeah, I think that is how actually the Ministry of Gender used to be the Ministry of Women, Children and Social Affairs, but then later, then they changed it to gender, because then if you say women, then it's just women, but when you say gender, then you're just factoring in both. So which I think, it's something that I agree with anyway, the fact that they later changed it to the Ministry of Gender.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think
with actually specific concentration on women.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying, that we understand in society women were marginalized,
Yes,
and there have to be
vulnerable.
corrective measures in order to make sure that they participate in the social and political life of the country. So in putting in measures that will bring them on and is registering, because women are outperforming boys, they must also remember not to forget the boy child also, so that they focus to the extent that they are left behind, because that will create a new imbalance, and that's not good for society. What we ought to work towards is just create a population that is highly educated.
A better society.
Right.
Yeah, a population that, you know, is productive, and that also should focus on both genders, of both boys and girls, and make sure that all of them are competent with skills, with the type of education we want in order to develop the society to the other level.
Well, I mean, I think it's good. I mean, this is showing women, you know, can do certain things. I mean, they are not limited only to you are a woman. You should be able to study like a man. You should be able to perform. If a boy can perform, a woman can perform. But that doesn't mean we should leave the boys aside. I mean, it's not also a matter of who is doing better than the other. Like you said, we want to create a balanced society whereby we would be able to get productive I mean, people in the future.
Yeah, actually, when Mr. Carr delved into that, the reason why this is happening, women are getting the concentration, is because of facts and figures that exist that actually show that women are more vulnerable, and then, you know, boys have it, not the girls. Because even in the household setting, is an example. The girl has to do household chores and has to go to school at the same time. How do you balance household chores and reading? And then the boy, there's no household chore because culture says boy is not supposed to do this, the gender roles. So most of the time, that is why.
No, what it shows is we must not leave anybody behind,
which I
because
agree
women
with.
constitute the majority in
Right.
terms of the population.
Right.
So if you don't educate your women, you are depriving society a huge chunk of potential people that can contribute towards nation building. So it's important that we change the whole narrative and also the way we conceptualize
the
things.
notion.
That some people believe that women belong to the home, they don't have to be educated. They can achieve both. They can be highly educated, competent, and also be family oriented. We can see that. So these are things that we can achieve. They are not mutually exclusive. They can complement each other, and society will be at peace. So it's not a war against the genders, but it's a complementary relationship between the two genders. And together we build a nation, because it is a man and woman that creates society. So you cannot give one advantage to the other. You kill society.
But moving on, we also see the boss of the head, if you may say, of the African Development Bank is currently in the Gambia. And yesterday, himself and President Adam Barrow were actually out and about to look at, you know, African Development Bank funded projects. And then, you know, while Aliou Cisse was on the commentary, he said something very important that I really agree with. He was like, this bridge is constructed by the African Development Bank, and each tribe is going to use this bridge, you know, even irrespective of your political affiliation, you will use it. So he's just trying to say that to draw people's attention on the fact that every single thing in the Gambia now is politicized. Even when development comes to our doorstep, we look for a way to actually politicize it and pollute people's minds as to what that development might bring to them, which I think really we should move away from at some point, at this point especially.
Well, it's normal. Politics is part of life. It's the way of life. We have to exist.
But it needs to be constructive.
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say. You know, being partisan and being political are two different things. You can be partisan because you support a particular group with an ideology or a philosophy. You belong to that, and they advocate for something different as opposed to what you are. That is why in UK you have the liberals, you have the conservatives, and you have the Labour Party in America. So these are different philosophical or ideological partisan groups that support, and they have different policies and programs. That's normal in any democratic setting, and that is what we expect in any multi-party democratic setting. We expect the battle of ideas, and that is welcome. Yes,
ideas.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I expect to the battle of ideas, where we debate and exchange ideas on a constructive basis, like something based on facts and But then on the other way, that's not the threat.
Yeah, but
we're
we
taking.
live in an age where social media you cannot control, and people can create their own narrative. But the important thing is the mainstream people that are dealing with these things. The political actors, they have to focus on ideology, on philosophy, on deliverance and policies and programs. If they are focused on this, that is what is required, because we expect in a very healthy democracy for the battle of ideas to be always in this space, to be challenging each other, challenging the status quo, the government in power, pushing them to do more things. That is the role of the opposition. The role of the government is also to respond to that type of criticism in order to elevate the conditions of the people. So this is a very healthy thing, as long as it is within that context in which it operates. Yes. But what I'm saying, like you pointed out, development is something that we all have to enjoy. And Adesina did say something. He said when he spoke to the president, the emphasis from the president was his development agenda. It's so like the Tony Blair and his crew, when they came to UK, they said education, education, education. And the president told him that infrastructure, 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 which means the emphasis, the development agenda of the government now is focused on provision of infrastructure. And that is understandable to some extent, because since independence to date, Gambia is definitely infrastructure deficit. We didn't have good roads, and you can see even the urban and peri-urban area, we struggle with our cars going. There is absolute absence of that. Lack of good hospitals, good roads, good universities. So these are infrastructural things, but it must be accompanied with a productive base also to support that infrastructural agenda. So these things are symbiotic. They must be related to the extent that where you have the productive base is strong, like the agricultural base and other aspects are strengthened, is agriculture linked to industrialization, then productivity is increased. This can support the infrastructure. So therefore, they can create these things to work along. And I hope the policy direction of the government is in that.
Yeah, and you know what, you talked about something very important, because just yesterday, the president of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, has to like increase wages and salaries of people, because they went on strike and then had to put a lot of threats on the table. So which is good.
I like that guy. He's brave. He's taking decisions that are very difficult and very challenging. First he came, he scrapped the subsidies. That was big move. And then he's implementing policies and programs that, that are not palatable. They are not politically sweet, but they get results at the end of the day. I hope if Nigeria should follow the path that they are crafting, at the end of the day, there is light at the end of the tunnel. What is bad is pursuing policies that are just appeasing the people rather than being very structured and concrete policies that will yield economic dividend for the people. I think that.
Well, I think that's significant. As a leader, there are policies that you need to implement, even if some of them are not appeasing to your eyes. I mean, I think it's important, because when you look at a country like Nigeria, at some point they need policies that will really, elevate the lives of the people, because at some point things are so difficult in Nigeria at the moment.
That's applicable to most African countries. After the pandemic, we realized that we are very short in many areas. We are very dependent. We don't have food sovereignty. We don't have, medical facilities, that are available to the general public. So these are the things that has waking us up. So now that is why the argument is, what are we going to do inwards for ourselves? That is what I was saying earlier on, to look at the productive base of our economies, to look at the extractive industries of our economies. How are they benefiting the ordinary people? Translate that into real economic benefits, and then the people can enjoy the fruits of what belongs to all of us, rather than it's being skewed to maybe in places like Gabon, where you have a singular family controlling for more than 3-4 decades, just being there and doing things. These are the things of the past. The new African is very educated and very critical and very demanding, and that is very good. So they have to hold accountable to our governments to deliver, and this is what we expect. And I hope policies
it's just like
are
what is
designed.
happening in Eswatini, which is currently the only African absolute monarch that exists, where they went for their legislative elections, and then we see that there's some sort of resistance coming from the people, because a monarch in 2023. But at least that's fine. But then the legislation has to go through proper elections, because normally the legislation is the people who go for the elections have been chosen by the chiefs, kind of. So it's still, they don't have that power to do certain things. They're still under the president. But eventually, I think it's something that will phase out, because
there's a cultural setting
Yeah.
that was inherited in the past, because most societies, you must understand the evolution of societies.
Yeah.
You know, societies evolved from being peasants,
Right.
you know, going to different phases, and the era of the monarchs was there throughout Europe, throughout the world,
Yeah.
and that transition to a democratic setting.
Exactly.
And there are residues of that. Even in UK, they have to modernize
Yes,
the
but still
monarchy to separate the powers of the monarch from the state. That's why you have what they call the prime minister. They call it first among equals.
So
if you
actually,
see.
in that is exactly what the citizens are looking for in this instance. Something that is modernized in a way that the legislation has that sense of independence.
Yeah, to separate the
into-
monarchy.
But it's unfortunate. So I don't know how they will be able to deal with it. Hopefully they will just do it like the Gambia did. Stand against dictatorship at some point. I don't know how easy
Society
that will be.
always have a ways of resolving
Yes,
those
I'm
issues.
sure.
I'm sure they will come to
I'm sure
a
they will come up.
resolution. Yeah, because they would not want to destroy maybe their institutions as
Right.
well, because those are cultural things that they believe in. Some people from the outside may not understand
Yeah.
and be judging them, but there are certain cultural settings that are already existing.
Yeah.
The people also love it. They want to retain it. Like UK, I'm sure if you have a referendum today, the majority want
will ask the
to
monarch
be
to
they are monarchists,
stay.
but that
I
is
agree.
also part of a propaganda
Yeah.
kind of thing.
I agree.
That's
Yeah. So moving on, Pura validates ICT market assessment report. So actually, this report is meant to identify monopolies and bullies in the ICT sector, just to ensure that, in as much as there's an open market setting, also monopolies are not allowed in the sector. It has to be a free, fair competition between GSM operators, internet providers, and all of that. So this is actually the second report that they've launched since the existence of Pura, which actually affected the way that they actually intervene when it comes to some of these things. But with this report, at least it will guide them to ensure fair play in the sector.
Yeah, everything is governed by laws. If
Yeah.
the laws are fair and
Yeah.
equitable, applicable to all, then that's fine. That is their role.
Yeah.
That's what they have to do to make sure that they have fair rules and regulations that applies to everybody equally, and that's all society is looking for in terms of these regulatory bodies.
Yeah.
So that is expected.
Yeah, sure. So thank you so much, Mr. Ka, for joining us. It's always good to have you here.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, nice shirt though.
Thank
Are
you.
you a white? You always wear white shirts. I don't know. Is it like a thing?
Yeah, I just love it.
You just love white.
No, he loves dressing good. I mean,
Yeah.
Mr. Ka loves good shirts.
Do you learn from him? Because there are times I heard him giving you tips and tricks.
Yes.
As to how to go about it.
Sometimes, I mean.
Okay,
my buddy.
he's yours. Alright, so we'll just go for a short break and we'll be right back. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
QCell brings you the future with our ultimate bundles. Enjoy the best voice and data bundle plans in one package. Get unlimited data packages with flexible validity and enjoy what true internet feels like. Get 30 minutes of on-net and off-net calls with 5 gigabytes of data for just $350. Or get bigger bundle packages from 10 gigabytes to 20 gigabytes with over 100 on-net and off-net voice calls and enjoy the fastest internet speed in the Gambia. You can also buy 1-day, 3-day or even 7-day packages and enjoy unlimited data bundles with uncapped speeds. Just dial *343# today and experience the limitless capabilities of the QCell network. *343# should be your favorite code to dial now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Step into the Espas Motors showroom for your luxurious name brand vehicle. Located along the Bertil Harding Highway, Espas Motors is the Gambia's authorized dealer for Chery, Kia, Ford, and now we bring you the new Peugeot model 3008 SUV. 18-inch alloy wheels, 216 inches high ground clearance, keyless entry system, start and stop button, rear parking assistance system with reverse camera, adaptive cruise control with speed limit, LED daytime running lights, front and side airbags, 8-inch HD touchscreen. Not to forget our exquisite Peugeot Landtrek double cabin pickup with 2.1-liter diesel engine, 6-speed manual transmission 4x4, hill descent control, LED daytime running lights. Espace Motors, the authorized dealer for Peugeot. Visit us today or call us on 35-2222 or 353-4444.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. And now, Ibrahima, we're joined by the Public Relations Officer at the Gambia Ferry Services, Mr. Omar Toure. And obviously, yesterday, this is something that we started discussing, and it's all over the news about what happened at the terminal from Banjul to Barra terminal there when it comes to the registered Malian bus that actually plunged into the water. So, and there was a lot of panic and all. It's been solved, but obviously it's important that we bring the authorities for them just to educate us. Exactly, give us
what
first-hand information
Yes.
as to what happened there. So thank you so much, Mr. Omar Toure, for joining us. So can you just explain to us what actually prompted that situation that happened at the terminal?
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Thank you so much for inviting me. Special greetings to my management team led by Mr. Osman Jabate and deputized by the General Manager, Mr. Abdullah Tambedo and team, and all the staffs of the ferries. We are so proud to be here and to explain to the public so that they can know what has transpired during that difficult moment at Barra Terminal. This was on Friday, around 11:30 in the morning, where it was a registration number, Malian registration number, which have been there for almost 2 nights because of due to technical problems. He was not allowed by the local management on the Barra terminal, and he was parked over there. And the next day he went and hired these technical guys who came and were trying to sort out his problems. Actually, everything was going fine with the operation. He was parked aside, and around that time, I think they were succeeded that they have did the best work, but the battery was run down
Of the vehicle.
of the vehicle, and you know those type of buses and trucks is always on pressure. You have to put it on, and it have air to make the brakes to be stabilized. Yes, so unfortunately the driver was not thinking about that, and the mechanical team also were not thinking about that. That unfortunate problems happened. When they finished, because all the ferries were in Banjul, the Kanilai and the Kuntakinte were all in Banjul, and normally when that happens, all our staff will go and concentrate on their local things, taking breakfast and doing everything. Because in the morning there was a big pressure, because you know the Gamo was just finished, and on the return side, everybody was running from Tiawan, Kaulag, and the local environment areas from the North Bank and Sierra. The pressure was there, and definitely they did a very good job up to that time. When they left and tried to go and sort out their, breakfast things. Unfortunately, the driver was finished, according to them, and later on he was trying to manage how to put the
ignition on.
Yeah, ignition on, but it couldn't be due to the battery failure. So they decided to push it, because if you have been hired, no, the ferry was not there.
So that they can start the
To start the vehicle.
Yes, because it was empty, and they were just trying to make sure that they put other vehicles inside to stock it. Because normally what they do, they will put barrier to control whatever is going in, and those barriers were there, but due to that, all the vehicles which were there have been loaded, and they are now trying to put other vehicles. Before they are coming back, they decided to push the bus so that it will start. So unfortunately, when it started,
it couldn't stop.
It couldn't stop.
Ooh.
No brake.
Oh, that's how it happened.
Yeah, that's how it happened, and we were lucky that You know, Gamo, you know how how populated the terminals are.
Yeah.
And also for our staffs,
That's unsafe.
locally, nobody was there. It was an empty ramp, then you just go directly because
It plunged in.
yeah.
Yeah.
On the right, you will have vehicles over there. On the left, too. So he have no way to go anywhere, just to go directly.
Oh my God.
So unfortunately, and we can say fortunately, it have just
Stop
ended there. Because of when the two wheels of the bus have already passed, it have to lie on the ramp.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So
the,
that was the luck that we have.
About the in the vehicle, it was only the driver.
Only the driver.
Okay.
Only the driver.
Only
And there was no ferry in Bara, at
Oh,
Bara at that
okay.
time. So
Okay.
for the public to know
Understand.
that we were not trying to load, or we were not trying to use any vehicle to blanch the ramp or to
Okay.
stabilize it, so that we can have the actual
Okay.
crossing of
To
the,
many,
yes,
you were trying to do that.
let it be clear.
Okay.
There was nothing, and it was the fault of the driver and those who caused it, and he attests to that.
Okay.
That what's happened.
Okay.
So we were very concerned, but we will thank the management for their maturity. And in sometimes something will happen. If you don't take your time or you don't strategize, you always have more failure than anything.
Okay.
Because initially, when it happened, the GM just called for a meeting. He called me, and we called the director of technical and the acting director of operation.
Yeah.
And those on the local, at the other side, Mr. Job, the manager, and they arranged a crane. We said we can arrange a crane at Bara, and also a secondment from Banjul, because the way we saw the ram, it have to be lifted.
Okay.
We arrange another crane. Then actually that's how it happens. It takes, definitely we have to apologize because it takes hours. But to mobilize cranes is not easy.
Okay.
We were just lucky that everything went very fast. So that's how it happens, and within few hours it was rescued.
So after that, it did not affect any operations with the
No,
use
no,
of the
no,
ram
no,
and
no,
then-
no. Only the duration.
Okay, and,
Yes.
and after that, everything moved. on
Everything moved
smoothly.
well.
Okay, so how many ferries are we?
Yeah, we have
using currently?
the Kanilai and the Kunta Kinte
Okay,
presently
and they're
operating.
moving on
Yeah,
fine.
they're moving on fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are some of the other challenges when it comes to the ferry services? Because most of the time citizens are angry here and there. Either you come, you feel like the next one is not coming early. Like how is the coordination? Is it organized to an extent that maybe when somebody comes, the person doesn't have to wait for hours and all of that?
Very organized, very good staff, very willing staff, very committed staff. The public have to know that the ferries were purchased for a period and for the number of tonnage that are to be crossed within a year, because you have to do your feasibility studies.
Okay.
But if you check the country, how it is developing, the rapid development, how many, we can say millions of tons of basalt have been transported by the ferries.
Okay.
And those things were not captured yet when we were buying these ferries. Those projects were not captured that they will be coming to the Gambia. If you check the OIC and all these infrastructures, the basalt is coming from Senegal.
Okay.
The cement is coming from Senegal. Most of the roads, 50% or 30% is coming from Senegal. And they use the ferry. So if we are calculating that within a month we will be crossing 300,000 tons, we will be crossing almost 700,000 tons. So if you check that, that
It will affect
accumulation
the
of,
lifespan.
yeah, and we are blessed with the staff we have, because everybody needs the ferry. Everyone needs the ferry. So we are different from other institutions. That if you don't need the QCL, you can go to.
Not everyone. I don't need the ferry. I am from Basse.
Yeah,
I
okay.
use Trans-Gambia.
No, let me tell you, we have many ferries. We are not dealing with Banjul Bara ferry only.
It's beyond that.
Yes, it's beyond that. And I
I'm
know
just teasing you.
No, but I'll come to your response because I know you are thinking of having a good house here, and who will cross your Brussels?
Yes. That is where the
Then
issue
if I
comes.
meet him at the ferry, he will tell me, now you need the ferry.
Now you need the feeling, right?
I'm just joking.
It's very
Yeah.
difficult with us,
Yeah.
but with the leadership qualities we have at the moment, definitely we are trying. If you check the past Magal, did you have anything negative?
No.
Not yet.
What about the Gammo? Nothing negative. Lingo de were chatla. So we couldn't avoid this. It's not caused by ourselves, our operation. It's not caused by the ferries. It's an individual from Mali, you know.
Yeah.
So these are things that
Well,
normally...
the reason why we called you, so that you can come clarify, there are many things that people are circulating, you know, talking about the manner in which services are rendered at the Gambia Ferry Service. So we deem it necessary for you to come and clear yourself. At least tell them this is not our fault. I mean, but at the first place, I think you should not have allowed them to be pushing a bus so close to the
who
water.
controls that?
You know, we accept the 50% fault
Yes.
on our side. We cannot avoid it because they are inside our territory.
They should be controlled.
Yes. You know, when things are to happen,
They must happen.
yeah, sometimes that's the nature we take.
Yeah.
On natural powers, we know that the water is there. Whatever happens there is a different thing. But on the ground, control mechanism must be there. And this is a learning lesson, not even only for Banjul Bara ferry, but for all our ferries. Because we have discussed at length what to do, because there are protection that we can do to avoid such things. But, you know, it have already happened. So what we can do just to learn from it. But I'm happy to be here. Why? Because, you know, journalism is very, very important. Very, very important. Your responsibilities to build the image of the community or the country is very, very important. Because depending on the social media, you will lose your strength. Because whatever you show, you think that this is what is real. Actuality is everything. You have your TV crew, you have your everything. If you come to the ferry terminal, you take your... Because never you depend on the social media. Because everybody... One thing is, if they were busy on the social media, we are busy doing what is our responsibility. And when we finish, before we finish, immediately we get a press release, and it was sent, circulated. Within few hours, 4 hours, then we are back to normal. We send an order that we have rescued the situation. And everybody was quieted. They keep quiet. Because if you go through the social media, everybody will say, Baro, you are at the Janjambure, you come and take our ferry out. You know, those are things. And
Yeah, many people pointed to the government.
Yeah,
No,
that happened. A Malian
and-
boss.
See how
That
people
was
think.
just too much for me. I was like, what's happening?
And let me tell you one thing. The maturity of the president and the minister of works, definitely they deserve to be commended. Because if such things happen in your country and you are not very strong, you will send the military, the navy, go and rescue, because what you are hearing all over, what you are seeing, is just scary. So definitely they
Yeah,
need to
people
be
talk a
commended.
lot. People talk.
But if you
especially
follow
in
them,
Gambia.
if you follow them,
Yeah.
you lose where you are supposed to go.
Yeah, you have
They
to
will
be
divert
focused.
Yeah,
you.
the social media, you know, does have its positives as well, because sometimes it puts authorities to check. You know, at least when there's noise coming from there, we've seen government react based on what's happening. So, but the negative side is also there, where sometimes they exaggerate things and misinform people, which is not also a good thing.
You know what happened? One of the securities told me, no, I will not allow anybody to take pictures. I say, give them the chance to take it. This is something that we cannot hide. You cannot hide that. Because if you want to control, no, don't allow them to take pictures. No, allow them.
Yeah.
This is an information that, you know, you don't pay anything. It reaches to anywhere, everywhere. So just focus
Well,
on
you know,
what your responsibilities are.
if it's other countries, I'll tell you something. This would not have come on social media. It would not have come on the TV. people will not even talk about it because their citizens.
Gambia, I think we're at a point where
their citizens will handle it, but they'll know this. It can happen. It's something that can happen anytime.
No, Mr. Bande, you know the problem is, what's your name again?
Jennifer.
Jennifer can just post it for a reason to get the information, viral. But the guy coming, she will never even investigate. No, this very sad. They are used to this. They are used to this. Those are nobody will investigate.
No proper
investigation.
But I'm afraid that is all we have time for.
A political tool.
Yeah, but
they take it as a political tool, whatever comes.
I think it's Adam Barrow that plunged that boss
I think
in the
it's
river.
unfair.
It's
unfair.
Barrow.
Those
Next time, don't do that, please.
Yeah, those comments are
don't
unfair.
do that, please.
We need to be serious and, like I said, and handle. Like Mr. Kass said, there's parties. You can be partisan. It's normal. You're part of a political party and you're debating on ideas, facts and figures.
To be a critic
but not
in a positive way.
Not on the other hand where every little thing is blown out of proportion. But also we have to say that the Gambia Ferry Services also, like you said, takes 50% of the fault.
Yeah, we do.
As in, this could have been avoided by staff on ground to actually measure the safety and know that this is not something that's not supposed to happen around there, which is fair for us on our part. But thank you so much, Mr. Ture, for joining us. And we're looking forward to massive improvement, at the Gambia Ferry Services. Like you said, work is ongoing, right? Changes are coming.
I think for the last 2 months, everything has been stabilized.
All right.
And I think you people know about it because negativity
moves.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just a continuation. We will try our level best, and thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
We are proud of
up next,
QTV.
Ibrahima, from that, we'll be joined by a representative from the Gambia Presidential Award Scheme because, last week, the president was actually giving the gold awards to the gold medalists, or however you might call it. QTV was there. We covered it. It came on the news. And we just want to understand how people achieve this, because at some point I might want to also be a goal holder. What do you think?
Be part of those that will be awarded.
I want the goal. I want to know. So we'll just go for a short break and we will be right back.
Okay. Thank you.
The art of juggling is a true spectacle of agility, coordination, and speed. A symbol of progression, precision, and mastery. "5G speed is like having the juggler in your pocket. With lightning-fast download and upload speeds, you'll easily be able to juggle even the busiest workdays. Whether you're a busy entrepreneur, a creative, or just someone who wants to stay connected. Juggle your tasks with ease with QCell 5G speed. The future is here. It's fast, reliable, and efficient. First brought to you by QCell. We innovate, others follow.
The future is now. With QCell's 5G network, experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled device. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyapus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Thank you so much for joining us. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. And now, Ibrahima, we're joined by Mr. Adam Afati, who is the regional coordinator for KMC for President's International Award Scheme. Like I said, the gold awardees received their awards last week, delivered by President Adam Barrow, which was a huge event with a lot of success, considering the president was the guest of honor. So now we are joined by the regional coordinator for KMC, and as I can see, I see a gold and a silver. I see gold and silver there. So he's in the right position to actually tell us all about what the scheme seeks to achieve. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Fati.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy. Thank you for inviting us to this program today.
Ibrahim?
Yes, I mean, please take us through this award. We want to know, because when I saw this thing, I was like, wow, what will take a person to get these things?
Yes.
What will qualify you? Please first tell us what the President International Award Scheme is all about.
Okay, so there is a lot to say. Let me narrow it to this. The award is a youth program that focuses on developing young people mentally, physically. Any way that you can possibly think of, the award hopes to develop young people.
Yeah.
It actually came into existence because young people after the Second World War, we are not doing anything. Most of them were not interested in joining the Boy Scout, the Red Cross, or other youth movements. So our founder, the late Prince Philip, His Royal Highness, deemed it necessary that he would work with people from different areas, namely Kurt Horn, who is an educational philosopher, and also John Hunt, who is very experienced in adventure. So he brought these two people together to design a program that young people can do, a program that they would enjoy, a program that they have to do, but people will motivate them to do it, but it does not necessarily have to be those people doing it for them. They have to do it for themselves. When these three people came together, Prince Philip had the power, had the resources. The German educationists knew young people a lot. We have another military guy who retired from the military to join the Award program. A combination of these three gave birth to the Duke of Edinburgh International Award program. And the program is centered on 3 levels. That is the bronze level, that is the silver level, that is the gold level. I did not bring my bronze certificate, I brought only the 2. I like to make it 3 when it's on a suit, but it's after I make it 2
and
instead.
it looks really nice.
That is the silver, that is the silver award, that is the gold award.
Wow.
Yes.
Cool.
And
nice.
each of these awards, to achieve it, first you must understand it has an age bracket.
Okay.
The age bracket to participate in the award program is between 14 and 24. However, those that are in 25 above, if you want to participate, you either participate as a volunteer in a particular area, which I will come to shortly, or you come just as an adult helper. For example, if Ms. Geneva wants to participate, she does not want to do the program, but she wants to help, she will come and mentor people who want to do journalism.
Oh,
Yourself
nice.
likewise.
There's that component?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That
You
is
should
what we
hook
call
me
the
up.
skills and interests.
And
We
him
will
too.
come to that shortly, yes. So people that are age 14 are allowed to start the bronze. If you are age 13, and by the time if you start the bronze at the age of 13, by the time you complete, you could be 14. You would be 14. They would allow you to do the bronze. So if you're 15, you can do the silver. You can start the silver. If you're 16, you can start the gold. The idea behind this age bracket is that we are expecting a 14-year-old to be able to walk at least 12 kilometers. We're expecting a 15-year-old to be able to walk at least 24 kilometers. We're expecting a 16-year-old to be able to walk 40 kilometers. So we are not expecting a 14 or 13-year-old to walk 80 kilometers at goal level to and fro. So this is why this age bracket came into existence. You understand? And from the 14 to 24, you realize that this is where most young people decide on what they want to do in life. This is where you can, as the famous saying in this country, catch them young. If you want to catch them young, this is the perfect age bracket. Anything less than 14, the person is most likely not interested in this. The person is interested in playing. But at the age of 14 to 24 is where the person stands and begins to understand, what am I, where am I heading to? And this very moment, if they have people that can mentor them, for example, at junior schools, if you have journalists like yourself that will be able to come and talk to young people who are motivated about journalism, from that very moment would decide, this is what I want to do. At senior school, they will know what they want to study. That is the idea. So aside from the age bracket, we have the levels. Of course, I have already categorized them age and level. So the bronze level is 14, the silver level is 15, the gold level is 16. To do any of this program, you must go through what we call sections of the award program. These sections are a voluntary service. The young people at bronze level must have to accomplish a particular level of service for 3 good months.
Okay, nice.
For 3 good months.
Yeah.
And this service
can be done anywhere, regardless of religion, education, background, or whatnot.
So I think this is something, obviously, with the limited time, we can't delve into all the issues, but we can do it in a subsequent program. But just take us through quickly the Gold Award ceremony that the president attended. You know, how did it go?
The Gold Award ceremony was a success. I think we all saw the turnout.
Yeah.
That is because it's been almost 9 good years. The last Gold Awarding was in 2014.
Yeah, that's a long time.
So 8 to 9 years, we combined all of these awards across all regions to come, and we had a total of 1,650. Yes, with 80% of the awardees came from Region 1. Yes, 80% of the awardees came from Region 1. The awarding was truly a success considering the number of people that were awarded, and the chief patron of the program was in attendance. There was a particular year in 2014 or 2029 where people have to go away from the country here to go all the way to Dakar to receive their award. So we were extremely lucky. I'm part of those that got the award. I completed in 2014, but I was not lucky to have the 2014 gold ceremony because by then I was left with a single month to finish my skills and interest.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so this year I also received my award after 2014. Thank you very much.
How did it feel receiving it?
The feeling cannot be expressed in words. I wish I can quantify it to that level anyway, but I cannot express it in words. I was very happy, and it was something that I wanted. When I joined the program, there were many people that I inspired to join the program. And at some point, they were like, I don't think we will ever receive our goal. So having the president, having your award given by the president, your chief patron presided over that award, that is a whole level of happiness. And it motivated a lot of young people. And come maybe the next 2 months, we are likely going to have way more schools than we have today.
Yeah, so at the end of the time, you've received all these awards.
Yes.
What next? Where are these awards taking you? What is the gold and the silver, the bronze? I just want to know.
Okay.
You know, because we've been hearing presidential award scheme.
Yes.
But most of us don't understand actually what happened because it's not a new name.
Yes.
So what next at the end of the day?
Okay. So right now, I believe they are doing what is next. The moment you finish the award program, anybody that finishes the award program has at least 18 months of skills, 18 months of skills at different levels, 18 months. You have engaged in an area of sport for at least 18 months. You have engaged in a voluntary service for at least 18 months. Even without your formal education, you have a skill that you are working on right now. Every person who successfully completes the award program has a skill, and the person must be working. The person must be engaged. Either you as the CEO of your own company or whatever, or you are joining a particular institute. I will take an example of myself. Though I'm not practicing currently, but I did my skills and interest as a nurse. And I studied at RN, Gambia College, as a state registered nurse. So that was from there, I followed my passion, that is youth work.
Nice. So I guess we have limited time.
Yes.
But then, Ibrahim, I think this is a potential dialogue.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
So we can actually schedule
something. I'm feeling very interested in this.
He should enroll.
But I'm old now. I'm old. Can I be part of it?
Yes,
but
you can be part of it.
I'm still a youth.
Are you sure?
Yes,
Youth is 15 to 35.
Well, I'm still a youth.
Program is challenging, but I believe you can do it.
Gajaga mom, he just turned 36, so he's not a youth anymore, and Gajaga is crying. I'm like, Gajaga,
you can do it.
Accept, yeah, I can do it because I'm in my 20s, so you're not a youth.
No offense.
No offense. But thank you so much, Mr. Fati, for joining us. It's always, good to engage with young people. So Ibrahim, I'm afraid that is all we have time for. So tomorrow and Thursday, Julden Jai will be here with Ibrahim Abaldo to actually complete the week. So till I come your way on Monday, inshallah, thank you so much for joining us and enjoy the rest of your day.